Hey friends, this is Bada talking. Today in this content we will talk about different scams that ever been done across the world, and almost the content won't be for a long time. Let's watch the content. So this video is all about 5 biggest scams across the world. The internet has paved way for well-known scams such as Nigerian prince and wealthy widow benefactor, as well as the recently trending Venmo and PayPal scams, also dating app crypto scams. But people looking for creative method of fraud had been staple of society well before computer were even a thing. Here are 5 favorite scams around the world. So number 5 is the Baker Estate scam. This scam, which took place over 70 years before coming to an end in 1936, involved 28 swindlers who convinced people all across America that wealthy individual named Jacob Baker of Philadelphia had died, leaving his estate behind with no heirs. The fraudster contacted people named Baker, saying that they represent the estate, and would stake claim to property in exchange for small fee. Approximately 3,000 people responded to the mail, handing over nearly 3 million USD to the scammers. The cheaters were eventually caught, charged, and found guilty in court of law. So number 4 is Charles Ponzi, whose scheme was inspired countless others. Charles Ponzi, the creator of original pyramid scheme, was born in Italy and first arrived in Boston in 1903, bearing 2.50 USD to his name. His initial hustle were restricted to forging checks and assisting illegal migrants, serving 5 years in term US prison for his troubles. In 1920, Ponzi discovered arbitrage in form of international postal reply coupons, each worth 5 cents. Coupons purchased in Spain at a pre-set exchange rate could be redeemed for a nickel back in US, and the falling value of peso meant there was an opportunity to make money. He did just that, first recruiting people from the poorer economies in Europe to send him postage coupon, which he then sold in US for a profit. But Ponzi wasn't satisfied with simply fleecing the government. He had grander ambition and started to recruiting ordinary people, promising them anywhere between 50 to 100 returns on their investment. 100% returns on their investment. Thousands of people were attracted by Ponzi's claim and entrusting him with their money. Ponzi used the incoming cash flow from new investors to pay off old ones, and many people simply reinvested their returns with him anyway. This kind of outside returns started to attract scrutiny, and investigation by Boston Post revealed that the business was a scam. It was ascertained that Ponzi had swept up to 20 million USD from investors, which earned him another jail sentence. He was later deported back to Italy. Number 3 is William Thompson, the original conman. William Thompson lived in mid-19th century in New York City and was likely the first person to become widely known as a confidence man, a type of fraudster that became hugely popular in buzzing metropolises of the late Industrial Revolution. As a conman, Thompson would exploit the naivete of people he met in streets, bars, or events with type of social engineering scheme dubbed a confidence trick. Thompson would walk up to the people in friendly way, greet them, and give them impression two had met before. After gaining the trust of strangers, Thompson would simply ask, "Have you confidence in me to trust me with your watch until tomorrow?" Unbelievably, this worked. Thompson managed to repeat the trick on various people before authorities caught up with him. "Somehow you can trust me. Give me your watch." Trick became so popular it inspired a whole generation of confidence artists. One woman, Bertha Heyman, even continued to find the victim while locked up in jail. Bertha's scheme was more elaborate than Thompson and quite similar to today's 419 fraud. aka the Nigerian letter scam. Heyman would claim to have lost access to her enormous fortune and needed a bit of financial help to get it back. William Thompson, explored as a confidence man, eventually led to the term conmen or swindler who sweet talks their way to introduce robbing the people. Number two, Victor Lustig tried to sell the Eiffel Tower twice. The Eiffel Tower was constructed for 1889 World's Fair, coinciding with 100-year anniversary of the French Revolution. At the time, it was the tallest structure built by humans and kept the title for 41 years, until the Chrysler Building in New York surpassed it. In 1925, when Victor Lustig was 35 years old, he learned how expensive the tower had become to maintain. He subsequently came up with the idea to sell the Eiffel Tower to a scrap metals dealer. Lustig presumably found the most gullible scrap metal dealer in France to give a quote, and one managed to have a sizable bribe added in. He got away with it. To the scrap metal dealer was so ashamed of being tricked, and he didn't go to the police. After the scam, Lustig moved to Vienna in a train with suitcase full of cash. He considered that fraud gone so successful that he moved back to Paris and next month to do it again with different scrap metal dealers. Although he didn't succeed second time, he was still able to avoid the arrest. In United States, George C. Parker carried out a similar con around the same time when he sold the Brooklyn Bridge several times. Number one is Elvis Dawes Rees, printed himself real money. Elvis Dawes Rees was born in Lisbon in 1896, and when he was 28 years old, he printed himself so much money that he caused an economic crisis that led to a nationalist military coup d'etat. Rees forged a contract with the Bank of Portugal that authorized him to print a new set of banknotes and approached the company that previously printed Bank of Portugal notes, Waterloo and Sons, to make all new cash. As the printers used legit original players to print banknotes, the forgeries were perfect. Rees had 200,000 banknotes printed, worth almost 1% of Portugal's entire GDP, comparable to publishing about 2 billion USD in currency today. At one point, nearly half of the 500 scored note were fake. In fact, Rees had so much money, the business, real estate, and luxury goods he bought created a boom in economy. Rees used a bank he acquired in Angola, the Portuguese colony at the time, to launder the money before brilliantly. He attempted to buy himself a stake in Bank of Portugal to retroactively approve his unauthorized notes. Eventually, Rees was found out by a journalist of O Ciclo, a newspaper owned by tycoon Alfredo de Silva, who was raised as a competitor. The extent of Rees' conspiracy was larger that few believed it could have been carried out by a single person. The government and the court suspected that only corrupt employees of the National Bank could have helped Rees, but that he also had support from the German government in attempt to take over control of Angola. Rees received 20 years prison sentence, of which he only served 15 years. He died of heart attack in 1955. So this was all the information about biggest scams that ever been done. I guess you have enjoyed the content because you're still here. Like the video, subscribe to the channel for upcoming contents.